Get the selfie.
I'm posting it to my Insta story.
Your Insta story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I stink at Instagram.
Why?
I don't know, man. We had Adam come down and work with us and all that other stuff. And Jesse even does a really good class on Instagram. But I am just Instagram illiterate.
What's your
Just type in my name and it should pop up.
Bishul 1025?
There you go. Thanks. You just gave that to all my listeners.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey guys, go follow me on Instagram and you'll see almost no content. It'll be great.
Mine's just of my dogs. I found that when you want to have good content on Instagram, it should include something like cute, like a puppy or a kitten or a baby, or food and working out. That's what typically people
all
tend to
things
gravitate
outside of everything you said, outside of food, I would feel completely awkward posting myself doing.
Yeah, no, me working out is never a pleasant thing to watch.
The thought of me sitting there holding my cat, like, hey guys, check me out with my kitten. No.
Oh, I'm never in it. It's just the animals.
Oh, okay.
Because they're cute.
So arguably people don't know you.
No,
they know your animals.
They know my animals. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
But the other thing that also gets a lot of views is like luxury houses, right?
Yeah.
So for real estate agents, you'll always find that agents with the most views are either celebrity agents, though they've been on $1 million listing, or they're posting consistently luxury real estate properties. Because I don't understand why, but people really like to look at things that they can't afford.
Oh, I'm totally guilty of that.
We tend to follow condos in Miami and things like that, when in reality we should be following more local people if they would post more local content instead of a lot of the canned stuff that we typically see agents and loan officers and other people in general posting.
See, and I don't disagree with you, but it's so much more fun when you look at a Porsche versus like a Fiat.
Of course. This is very true. But can you imagine if that Fiat was
not even a Fiat. Like
edited?
A Fiat is still, for some people a Fiat's like, oh.
It's trendy, it's
I
cute,
guess it's right. Like it's like a Mini was several years ago.
No.
I was thinking more like a Focus. There you go, a Focus.
Don't be hating on my Focus.
Why do I always do this, dude? I did this with somebody else on another episode where I was like, I said something about like the car Scion. They're like, dude, I drive a Scion. Like, shoot.
You just have ESP.
Is that what it is? I'm connecting so well at that level, right? Like, I'm zoomed in. All right.
Yeah.
See, now I feel better about myself.
You totally should.
Yes. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a long-awaited episode of the Big B Mortgage Podcast. We have been on a huge hiatus, taking vacations, sipping margaritas, just basically trying to, relax and recenter. But now we're back, and oh, man, I am so excited to bring you my first guest of what I'll probably call Season 2, Miss Brittney Trimmer from Movement Mortgage.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, y'all. See? Oh, and she even got the y'all right.
Hey, in Virginia, we say y'all all the time.
Yeah, but you say it different.
That's fair.
It's non-Texan. Because I actually lived in Virginia for like 10 years.
What's the difference between a Texas y'all and a Virginia y'all?
It's the same thing that's different between Virginia barbecue and Texas barbecue. It just is.
That's fair.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Why are we whispering?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So, Brittney, tell everybody what you do.
So I am the Divisional Marketing Manager for Movement. I cover about half the country.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild. I help loan officers and real estate agents with getting to understand CRM, improving their social media and digital presence, working with them on things like Instagram.
Right.
And helping them come up with marketing plans and ways to really take where they're at and go further.
So how do you get into that?
You lose your job.
Oh, okay.
And then you find an awesome human being like Maria that hires you like 4 days later.
Yeah.
So it was really just a matter of luck. I got laid off. And then following week, I had a job here at Movement.
And were you like already into that world?
Not mortgages. My background was in social media strategy and digital audience analysis and research. So at my first company that I worked with, they do basically background research for companies on who their audiences are online.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked with brands like Mini Cooper and
Really?
Camelback and Nike on figuring out like who it was that they were talking to and how to better communicate with them. Yeah, Nike was actually really cool because we did I spent like 3 months immersed in online sneaker culture. It was wild, but you learn a lot about people and how they interact with brands and how they talk on the internet.
I have a 12-year-old. He'll soon be 13 this year, and he is going the route of the sneaker. Mm-hmm. And I am starting to peel that onion back a little bit, especially when you first got to buy the first couple pairs of these things. Holy crap. I was shocked. Like, I'd never just sat there. I mean, for what? Why am I going to sit around and just Google, like, Nike and see all these different types? I just figured it was the big wall at the store, but no.
Well, the funny thing is when you see people with big walls at their houses. So
oh, my gosh.
On YouTube, granted this was a few years ago, so things have probably changed, but you could see like the unboxing of new Nike shoes.
Kind of like what they do with tech now.
Yes, exactly. But they were doing these with shoes, and one thing that was really popular was licking the shoe and then like putting it away.
Why would you lick the shoe?
Because then it's yours. It's like when you...
It's like marking your territory?
Yeah, kind of. I don't really claim to understand why it was happening. It was just something that I saw happening a lot.
Kind of going to avoid that one because I'll probably get some hate mail on that one if I start making fun of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hey, to each their own.
To each their own.
Right.
I'm not licking my shoes, but cool.
Yeah, no.
Hey, and speaking of which, I told you about Gary Vee, right?
Yeah.
I got my Vaynerchukks on. Haha, yes. Yeah. Anyway. So, okay, cool. So you were doing that. You were working with these cool companies. Wow, and it's weird that I mentioned Mini Cooper. I didn't know you'd worked with them. Lose your job. Meet the amazing Maria Clark. 4 days later, you got... I'm assuming it's Maria Clark.
Yeah, it was Maria Clark, yeah.
Meet the amazing Maria Clark. 4 days later, you get a gig. But now it's, hey, guess what? You're going to do this for mortgage lending.
Yeah, no, and it was social media training. So basically, I was going around teaching real estate agents how they could market themselves on a platform like Facebook or Instagram and teaching them how to use these platforms because, I mean, this was 2015.
Right.
So even then, for a lot of people in this industry, we've been slow to adopt. Right. So with mortgages especially, there's been a lot of rules and regulations that prohibit us from being able to do a lot. Mm-hmm. And we're fortunate at Movement in being able to do more than, say, someone at Wells Fargo can as far as posting and having an online presence, because that's really how people are finding lenders, how they're finding houses, how they're finding agents. And for whatever reason, this industry has been slow to adopt that. So even when it comes to something as what seems as simple as utilizing Facebook, a lot of agents were behind the 8 ball on that. So
even today.
It's true, yeah. I mean, I still work with folks regularly who are just starting to build their own digital presence and start trying to utilize their Facebook database, as I like to call it, to really continue to keep people in the loop, because it's out of sight, out of mind for a lot of us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we opened the thing with me telling you I'm an Instagram, illiterate.
Yeah.
I have it, and every once in a while I'll remember to post. The lucky thing for me is Jesse showed me how to sync it to my Facebook. Mm-hmm. So now it does it. Yeah. So, But anyway, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you ever get frustrated?
All the time.
With the, I hate to say it this way, but the blank stares?
Oh, I wouldn't call it frustrated. I would call it more disappointed.
Yeah.
Because that means that I'm not doing my job well enough if I'm getting blank stares.
Right.
right? So that means that I need to either reshift my focus of how and be like, okay, so I need to just focus on this one piece, let everyone go do their thing, and then revisit it, right?
Yeah.
Because that's typically when you get the blank stares, is when you're going over someone's head.
Yeah.
So, which is very easy to do.
Depending on where you are. Sure. Cities that are kind of more tech-oriented, I think, obviously they definitely speak the language, but you can get to some of these pocket areas to where, everybody and their mother has a Facebook account, but you really start talking about geo filters or whatever terminology there is, and bye-bye, the lights go out.
I can't even bring that up around most most people I work with because it's too much. A lot of what I'm working with is getting people to think of social media differently. Right now, this is just par for the course.
Come on, preach, girl. Come on now, bring it.
But most people tend to think of social media as just a place where people go and, play around on the internet.
Right.
Nothing to be taken too seriously. When in reality, what it is it's just an extension of your network. The way that we do business hasn't changed. It's still in person. It's still talking to people. It's still building relationships. We're just having to shift our focus from doing it so much in person to diving more into in-person and digital. We're not completely digital. Handwritten cards still go over well. Mailers, there's still, you have to have the yin and the yang. You can't just say, I'm going to be in one place and not the other.
Yeah.
Because different audiences are in different places.
Do me a favor, play with your mic a little bit. Okay. I'm just checking the feed. Are you hearing yourself okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
I think so.
This is not one of those Joe Rogan experiences, so.
Well, it's just
shout out to Joe Rogan. But, so anyway, going back to what you were saying, I get it. Yes, the disappointment. I can see why you would feel the disappointment, especially because I've seen it. I've seen both sides of it. I've seen the person doing the training, trying to really, drive it home, because it's just like mortgages, right? It's like, yeah, okay, I can sit here and talk about an APR all day long, but if somebody's never done a mortgage before, it's lights out.
What's an APR?
Exactly. So there we go, right? But then, to hear it, but I've seen people, and this is where it kind of gets kind of funky, because there is no shortage of people, self-professed pros, if you will, or people doing these classes on social media, and then you go and you attend the class, and it's like, what did I just do for an hour?
Yeah, no, that happens a lot.
Right?
People go to a class and they're like, okay, well, that actually wasn't helpful. Because when most people teach social media, they're just telling you how it operates, not how you can actually use it. Right. So when this happens in a lot of trainings, even with demos, right? You're doing a demo on a new product. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's a CRM system, right? You do the demo and they show you all the bells and whistles of what it can do, mm-hmm. but they don't tell you, okay, now this is the functionality of it,
right?
But this is how you can actually utilize it to build your business, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's a big disconnect for a lot of people, is they don't understand, okay, great, Facebook does all these things, and this is, the technicality portion of it, the technical portion of it, but what does that actually mean for me, and how is it going to help me grow? Mm-hmm. Which is why I always tell people, again, think of it as an extension of your database and of your relationship building management, because that's what it is. We have to take and restructure how we think of it from a business perspective versus just I'm bored and I'm going to scroll on my phone for an hour. Right?
Yeah. I'm going to scroll. Boom. Yes, dude, totally. Mine was blown. So, how do
I'm always just stating I feel like whenever I'm talking about social media, I'm always just stating the obvious for folks. But it's a matter of reframing it, right?
I've heard it enough, right? And then plus, I've already been a victim of buying crap because of the ad purchasing space that's out there right now, right? I have, it's parked on 4 wheels in front of the office. I bought a car because an ad popped up with the right photo, and I got curious. Next thing I know, I'm at the dealership. But that being said, going back to my original point, is it just keeps getting bigger And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's, you read the stats, you read everything. It's like it's where we're going. Obviously, we're already there. A lot of people are starting to say, yeah, you're a little late to the party. Mm-hmm. Right? But there's still so many people trying to figure it out and navigate it. So what is your approach? Like, what is your approach to somebody? Like, in other words, okay, I got my Facebook account. I normally like to post pictures of my lunch or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not a power user. I'm not using it for business. Where would you start with me?
I would start with telling you to friend past clients,
Mm-hmm.
friend the people that you work with,
Mm-hmm.
not just from other loan officers, but also like real estate agents,
Right.
title folks, insurance people, and engage with them.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the things. A lot of people are basically just following and observing and not actually engaging. And they're just surfing all the time. And when you actually engage with people, when you comment, especially commenting,
I heard comments go a long way.
They go a huge way, right? Because a lot of times, and this is really true on Instagram too, commenting can get you a follow back, right? Anybody can like something, but do you ever go and see, oh, like I had 20 likes on this post, who liked it? Not very many people do that.
No.
Right? But they pay attention to the comments and will respond, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody comments on anything that you do, you should always respond. But you should also look for ways to engage with the people you work with and have worked with in a meaningful way, right? So if you see that one of your past clients got a new job, comment on it and say congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Or and the other thing too to make sure that you do is wish every single person
happy birthday.
A happy birthday, right? It's just something so easy that we just forget about. And the other thing too is don't beat people over the head with the fact that you're a loan officer.
What?
I know.
Come on, man.
Agents do this all the time. One of my biggest, it is a pet peeve, but I know why they're doing it. But when you do nothing but post about business,
mm-hmm.
that is a way to get an
immediate complete turn off, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just like, oh, God. Unfollow.
Right.
So
I don't need another advertisement.
Well, you're not actually adding value to the people you work with, right? Post mostly stuff that's personal, on the personal side of things, and post about work like once a week. And especially if you can make it centered around people. So whether you're in a recruiting role or whether you are in a producing role,
mm-hmm.
post photos from closing, post photos from events where you're team building. Highlight the wins that you're having. Highlight the people you work with and thank them for giving you the opportunity to be a part of their business and to be a part of their life.
Yeah.
And showcase for your clients like how meaningful it was for you to work with them and how much it meant to you as a person to be able to play a role and just be yourself. So many times people tend to put on a persona
mm-hmm. when
they're building their social media presence. I see this all the time. And I mean, you've probably seen the video where it's like on Instagram, they're like, oh, I just rode my bike to like 20 miles to this like beautiful sunset. And then they're like zoom out and they're putting the bike in the back of the truck. Right? It's like, it's so easy for us to fake things on the internet.
Right.
I mean, I always think of that Brad Paisley song too.
Who?
Brad Paisley.
Oh, country dude.
Yeah. Anyway, but so whenever like we tend to be super fake online and people can see through that.
Right.
So if you're just being yourself, even if you're like me, who's a self-proclaimed old lady, like that's why I have photos of like most photos of me on the internet are of me knitting or like hanging out with my dogs because in real life I am super boring.
I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to fight it off.
I know, right? I don't look boring. I have purple in my hair.
You've literally basically called yourself like a cat lady at this point.
Yeah, no, I pretty much am.
Oh, come on, dogs. Man. Except their dogs?
Except their dogs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a Marmaduke and...
You have a Marmaduke?
I have a Great Dane, yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I had a neighbor one time who had 2 of them, and he would walk them around the block. And let's not even get into picking up after the dog, but just walking the dog. Like, it's the most, like, outside of a pit bull, that's one of the most intimidating dogs I've ever seen.
Yeah, mine is big and dumb. He got stuck on a bed last night.
Oh, really?
My dog sitter was texting me, telling me that he was stuck on the bed and couldn't figure out how to get down.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
My German Shepherd is scared of the rain.
Dogs are weird.
I don't know.
They're so cute and cuddly, though, and I love them.
But my cat's your typical cat. My cat could give 0 Fs as to who you are.
Yeah.
Like, if I want your water, I'm going to jump on the table and I'm going to start drinking out of your cup, whatever's in there. And, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
This is my house.
Yep. That's fair.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's like being in an abused relationship.
That's basically any relationship with a cat.
Yes. Neglect. I'm seeking therapy.
You should.
Anyway. All right. I'm looking at your face and you're just like, oh my God, where is this guy going with this? Why is he taking me down this rabbit hole? Let's go back to business.
Well, I was going to say, this is my first podcast, so I'm just rolling with it.
That's how this usually rolls. If you go back and listen to any of the other episodes, there's 0 agenda.
Yeah, there's actually 0 content. It's just like a bunch of...
Yeah, we're just shooting the crap, man. Telling your story, and then there's nuggets that'll come out along the way.
Oh, that's fair.
A couple of them that I've done, though, like for foundations and stuff like that, with friends of mine who have their own foundation. There's one that I've done multiple episodes with, and they're just a phenomenal group, and it's a Companion Warrior Foundation, and I think they just changed their name, but they're actually a foundation who provides health insurance to service animals.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we've done multiple episodes. They've done a really good job of getting off the ground, but yeah, they could really benefit from somebody like you.
I'm always happy to help out.
So what is your favorite platform? Because I hear, you did your Gram story. You kind of reference Instagram. I know AC is huge about Instagram. Like, what is yours Instagram or is it something else? I've never actually met anyone in mortgage who brags on Twitter.
So this is a really funny story. Twitter used to be my favorite.
Really?
When I first moved to Richmond after college, I had 0 friends except for my best friend from high school.
Right.
So I joined Twitter, and I actually made friends that way through like meetups and stuff back when Twitter was more local.
It wasn't a news center.
Yeah, it was a completely different animal back in 2010 than it is now. But my personal favorite would have to be, it's more of on a personal level, and it's Snapchat.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I love Snapchat is just simply because like I have my groups, and I can send, like, my girlfriends and I from college, that's how we communicate now. We don't really text very often.
You don't pick up the phone and call each other?
Oh, God, no. It's too much talking. I spend my entire day talking. At the end of the day, I don't want to talk to anybody. But we can...
I've never thought of it that way.
We can message back and forth, take photos of what's going on, and stay in touch that way. So I really like it for that. And the story feature, which is where it originated. I like that as well for Instagram. So,
what about business?
I can control it. Oh, for business, it's terrible. At least for our industry, because
LinkedIn.
I don't really.
No, okay. I don't think anyone from LinkedIn listens to my podcast. I think you're right.
I hope not, because this would be really awkward. But LinkedIn is, from a business perspective. And again, this is my experience in working in mortgages and real estate for the past almost 4 years, is that it is used primarily for recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
It is good for folks who have come from other industries.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of agents and lenders I know who came from either government work or even here in Texas, if you used to be in oil and gas sales and now you're a loan officer or a real estate agent. Can be good for connecting with people from similar industries from your past. And then if you're trying to set yourself up as an expert in your field, it can be good because you can utilize the articles to write your own blog without actually having to have a blog and all the maintenance that entails. So.
Yeah. I agree with you, though. And that's, like, I think from a mortgage standpoint where I see, especially here in Austin, a lot of people pulling, I don't want to say pulling away from it because they're not canceling their, pages or anything, but they won't, they barely check it. And their inbox is probably full because it's constant recruiting.
Yeah. From a business standpoint in this industry, the two best platforms are Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt.
A lot of people seem to be leaning toward Instagram too.
Well, Instagram is especially, I feel like we're soon going to see what happened with Facebook, where all the young kids are going to have a mass exodus because all their parents are on it now.
Right.
So, when it comes to those two platforms, though, from a content perspective, you have more control. The relationships that you can build on them are more personal than you're going to get on LinkedIn, just because of the etiquette within that one platform, right?
Right.
LinkedIn's geared towards business. We don't typically form relationships based just on business. Even business relationships, those get stronger when we actually become friends with the people we're working with.
Right.
Right? So take them to drinks, take them to dinner, kids play baseball together, what have you, right? But that happens on these two platforms more than anything. And Instagram is really unique too because with the story feature that it has now, it's serving that need for constant gratification for folks. So we can keep tabs on people regularly just by checking out their story and feel like we're getting to know them more without even ever having met them in some instances.
It's just so much work.
I mean, how often are you on your phone?
I've actually been trying to do it less and less. Ever since Apple came out with that, you averaged blah, blah, blah screen time. I've been trying to curtail it a little bit, but too much. I mean, I don't know. I've never measured it a lot. I'm on it a lot.
We are on our phones a lot, right? We're constantly taking photos and things like that. So you just have to rewire your brain a little bit to think, oh, this is a great piece of content for, promoting myself and my business in a way that's not overly promotional. Which is kind of an oxymoron, but when it comes to branding and when it comes to keeping, we're just trying to stay in front of people as much as possible. Because one of the issues with, especially in lending, a lot of people don't know what a mortgage loan officer does. They don't understand it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They think we just sit back and...
No, we play golf all day.
That's it.
Yeah. That would be nice, but
Wouldn't
that's not actually the case. Like loan officers who...
I knew a guy.
I knew because he's no longer in the business.
He's no longer in the business. But it's actually the guy who got me in the business.
Yeah, but the people who are doing well in this business are actually
They're the ones who never go out to these networking functions because they're too busy.
Some of them do.
A lot of them.
But it's a matter of making sure that people know that you are working and that you are available and that you're good at your job. Social media is the best place for you to build trust with people you've never met.
Oh, dang. I never thought of it that way. All the seminars I've been to, no one's ever said that. It's the best way to build trust with people you've never met. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I mean, it is. People see you. If you do video, they get to hear you. And so in that capacity, they feel like they know you. It's like why we are attracted to celebrities and why we follow celebrities so much, because we feel like we're getting to know them as we follow them.
Right.
And so in that same stance, for you as a lender and for real estate agents even, they're able to do that with people who could be clients.
Yes, agreed. Very much.
People just tend to overthink it.
That's that I think that's ultimately it. Because I can tell you there have been several times it's like, okay, all right, I'm going to do a post. And I'll do a post and it's like, I'll type something and it's like, oh man, that sounds stupid. Delete.
Well, that's the thing. We overthink everything and we take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
I'm doing this podcast. I've never done a podcast before in my entire life.
And you chose this one.
And I was like,
with zero format.
Yeah. And you know what? But that's how you actually get good at something.
Well, see, what was funny, though, for anybody listening, all 4 people. What was funny, though, is it was like, hey, yeah, let's do this in the morning. And you're like, yeah, okay, cool. And then you started messing around with the schedule. And you're like, yeah, no, let's just do it now. Okay, cool. Yeah. Slap on record. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's make a podcast.
I mean, this is especially true with video.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times someone has told me, Brittney, I don't think I sound good on camera. I don't think I look good on camera.
Oh.
I'm not comfortable doing this. The only way you ever get comfortable with doing anything is just by doing it.
Yes.
When I first did my first video, it was terrible. It was absolutely horrible. I didn't watch it. I just sent it out.
That's what I did.
And so you guys got that in an email. And, you know.
Oh, wait, the one we got in an email was your first video?
Not that one, but like a long
time ago.
A long time ago. And by a long time ago, I mean a couple of months. But, like, I do public speaking all the time. And even for me, still getting in front of a camera is just like, ugh.
So that's the weird part. Because, like, for me, I've stood up in groups of 40. I've stood up in groups of a couple hundred, right? And I've done enough of that to where I kind of have my little mental preparation, and it doesn't bother me, right? Take my deep breaths, whatever. Like, hey, let's go. Don't drink too much coffee before you go up there. Da 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 da. And I can go up there, and I'm actually pretty comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. When I decided to do this, oh my God. It was completely different. Even though this is 100% audio, I started buying stuff to where I could incorporate video, but I haven't done that yet. I had set everything up, and I had 5 or 6 episodes recorded, slated, but I wouldn't release them. Oh, yeah. I was scared, dude. I was scared. And, it was that whole thing. I was overthinking it. Even though when I got the idea from listening to Vaynerchuk, I was all fired up about it. When you actually sit in front of the mic and then you do the thing and then you go back and you kind of listen to it and everything, and it just, you start to, again, overanalyze, right? Mm-hmm. So I had all these episodes I had done, and they're rough. I mean, if you go back and listen, like, I had USB mics, and it was, the audio is crap and whatever, but, you know, the content was cool. But anyway, it took me 6 months to release the first episode. Now, here is how backwards my brain works. I literally had to do the most embarrassing video of my life and put that out there for myself, because, like, I was like, you know, it's the fear of ridicule, right? Mm-hmm. And they say don't ever read the comments. But, like, I put out this video of me and this other guy, and I'll show it to you after the podcast. And the funny thing is I'm expecting to just get slaughtered, and I'm like, okay, once I get past that, then there'll be nothing else to be afraid of. As soon as everybody rags on me for this, I'll be humiliated enough. My podcast it won't be a big deal. Well, then I got the opposite reaction, and people were digging it and having fun with it. And I actually had other people who wanted to do video ideas now and stuff like that. So all that crap I had worked up in my head ended up completely not being true.
Yeah, we're our own worst enemy.
Yeah. And then, but the cool part is I had 6 episodes like just pre-done and boom, 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 and gave me time to record others. But yeah, this has been fun, even though I haven't been doing them recently, you know, and it's because, you know, you get into the holidays and then work and then everything else. But it's definitely cool, especially because it's 100% audio. I keep pushing Jesse to start one in San Antonio.
Yeah, I told him, I saw his mic and I was like, oh, are you podcasting now too?
No.
Yeah, exactly. He's like,
he
does.
He even has the name. Like, I was like, dude, just do it. Just do it. Okay.
I'll make that my pet project.
Please do. Please beat him up. All right. So, you've been in movement how long now?
Almost 4 years.
Wow.
I know.
Because I've seen others in your position come and go.
I was the first one.
Ooh, and you weathered the storm.
I did.
Good job.
Paved the path.
Okay, now I'm actually getting excited to see how you teach.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I teach just like how we're talking right now.
This is going to be great. So, I have dogs.
Yeah, no. I mean, people have to get to know you, right?
Right.
You got to make them laugh. If you don't make them laugh, they're just like, oh, God, another social media person. And my goal whenever I teach anything is to give people at least one actionable item that they can take away and utilize.
Yeah.
So whether it's like how to create friend lists to keep track of past clients, or whether it's, creating a generic email in M3 instead of, which is our internal CRM system that we have here at Movement, so that they're not blind copying 1,000 people in Outlook, but they can actually send out a personalized email in mass, right? If they have one thing that they can take away that improves their business even just a little bit, like.
Let me ask you a question.
Awesome.
Are you doing any training through the social media stuff on targeted ads?
I do.
Customized lists, that kind of thing?
Yep.
Because that's something Jesse and I started dipping our toe into.
Yep. I do that upon request.
We'll have to talk about that offline.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm totally down.
So, give me a nugget. Give me the
On the spot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Perform.
Ah.
Give me a nugget
Dance,
for
circus,
somebody.
monkey, dance.
That's it. Make me laugh, clown.
Oh God. True story. I have like a legit fear of clowns.
So do I.
I got kicked out of Busch Gardens one time because I punched a clown in the face.
I have never been that bad.
They wouldn't stop following me.
Yeah, mine was more of a brother prank gone wrong. My brother,
Brothers can be cruel.
Yeah, and he was way older. He was my half brother, and him and my sister would, make me watch horror movies. And back when I was a little kid, it would scare the crap out of me, and then they would freak me out, after the fact when it was bedtime.
No, this was Hollow Scream at Busch Gardens,
Oh,
and I didn't like it.
No.
And they're told to keep messing with you, but I was.
So you haven't seen it?
Oh God, no. Good Lord.
That one will mess you up for sure.
Oh, no.
That was a really good remake.
Thank you. I think if I have one nugget that is most beneficial, it's just do it. Just stop overthinking it and just start posting something, anything, even if it's just once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Just start forming a habit of it and download all the apps to your phone and do it from your phone, because it's going to save you so much more time.
So does a share count as a post in your world?
Depends on what you're sharing.
Well, like, for example, there's a web page on there called Mortgage Broker Memes, and they'll put out funny stuff.
Yeah, if you share something like that.
That counts as a post, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Original content's always going to outperform, right, versus a share. But if it's something you think is relevant to your audience, then yes. Because if it's not relevant, then don't share it.
Don't share it.
But if it is relevant, you got to know who you're talking to.
Well, obviously, you're already, acquainted with folks if they have accepted your friend request, which is, something like with LinkedIn. I got 10,000 some odd connections. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the difference with Facebook. We tend to be a bit more selective in who we accept on Facebook versus
But I feel like
LinkedIn.
Instagram's even more so, don't you?
No.
Is that more lax? Or
Well,
what?
you have so many. It's because everything on Instagram, like with LinkedIn, is public.
Mm-hmm.
People can follow you unless you have a private account, right? So you don't have to know them if they're following you.
Gotcha. Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So the nugget is just do it. Get out there. Put something out there. Put yourself out there.
Be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable. You heard her, everybody. Be vulnerable.
I've been reading Brené Brown.
I don't know who that is.
She's actually a Houston sociologist, and she studies vulnerability, and she wrote a book called Daring Greatly, which I highly recommend everyone read if you are looking for ways to show up and be present and be your full self.
Wow. What now? What was it called?
Daring Greatly.
Daring Greatly by Brené Brown?
Brené Brown. She did an awesome TED Talk. If you haven't watched her TED Talk, Check it out.
I can't tell you the last time I watched one.
They're so
been a
inspiring.
They
You should do a TED Talk.
get out of Dodge, dude.
TEDx Austin.
Yeah, okay.
Featuring
Yeah.
Bobby Schul.
Right? Yes.
Coming up next.
Just do it.
Yeah, no.
Well, I tell you what, Brittney, I appreciate you taking time to come out and be on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm looking forward to the training tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
I think so. I think it'll be good.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Big B Mortgage Podcast. If you did, give us a like, give us a share. But no matter whatever you do, please stay social, everybody. See you next time. Bye.